Okay, so now I've got my two containers in which I'm going to be transplanting the aloe vera pups. I've also got the soil which I took from my garden pathways, and I've got the two aloe vera pups that I'm going to be transplanting. So the soil that I'm going to be using, this is some free draining soil which I have took from my garden pathway. It's not clay, it's just some sandy loamy soil which is good for transplanting my aloe vera pups, and it's going to drain well. And even the containers that I'm going to be using, they've got some drainage holes at their base, so the soil is going to be draining well, and the containers have also got some drainage holes, so my aloe vera pups are not going to be sitting in water, which I don't want them to be. So this is going to help them grow well and develop into some big aloe vera plants. Okay, so now I'm just going to fill these containers with some soil so that I can go ahead and plant my aloe vera pups in them, and get them off to a great start. Let them grow a bit before I probably need to change the containers, but I believe that they're going to grow in these pots for quite some time before I finally need to transplant them into some bigger pots. So I'm just going to continue fill these containers with soil so that I can plant my aloe vera pups. Okay, I've got my containers which I filled with some soil, and I've got my aloe vera pups. So as you can see on each of the pups, I've got about an inch long of stem. So when planting these, I don't want to plant them deep down into the soil. I don't want to even bury some of the leaves, as this is going to cause some leaf rot. So I need quite some stem on this plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these base leaves here so that I can get more space between the roots and the first set of leaves. Let me put this on the side and do this again on this side, the aloe vera pulp. Okay, so now I've got about an inch of stem, an inch between the roots and the first set of leaves. Okay, so these are Aloe Barbadensis miller pups that I've got over here, and one way that you can tell that if aloe vera is actually in Aloe Barbadensis miller is that the leaves grow like a rosette. As you can see closely here, this leaf is actually circling the whole stem like this. So these are some Aloe Barbadensis miller pups that I'm going to be planting today. So here are my containers. I'm just going to make a hole here. Okay, I'm just going to make a small hole, place my aloe vera plants. So at this point, since these pups don't have much roots, they're going to need some support. So I need to get a small stick that I can use to support these pups. Okay, so I've got this stick here with me that I'm going to use as a stake for my aloe plants. I'm just going to push it into the soil, do the same here, push it into the soil, and take a string that I'm going to use to attach the aloe vera pulp to the stake so that this can support the pulp and it's not going to fall down. And just do the same on this other plant here. So as you can see, I'm leaving some allowance when I'm tying this aloe vera plant to this stake, so that as it grows, as the leaves grow wider, they are not going to be too tight to the point that they cannot grow wide. Okay, so maybe I need to leave this other leaf out. Okay, so now I've planted my aloe vera pups. I just need to come and water these. So now I'm done transplanting my aloe vera pups, and I've watered them, even though I've kind of overwatered them, but since this is the first time, it's not going to be any problem. And there's also some drainage holes at the base of these plants, so if there's too much water in there, it's just going to drain away